Hello and welcome back to 31 Days of Q&A. For today's question, day 30. How did you figure out all the techniques of the way you paint? Did you follow tutorials and books? Well, I did not get all of the techniques from tutorials and books. I think the bottom line that a lot of people tend to not realize is that you don't learn everything from a book or a tutorial. You learn by doing. And that's how you figure out new ways of doing something. I mean, yeah, obviously, books are going to teach you a lot of things that you probably wouldn't figure out on your own. And I have learned a lot from books. In fact, one of my favorite books is James Gourney's Color and Light, which is amazing. But as far as techniques, specifically techniques, very little of it was learned at school. A little bit in tutorials. I did pick up a lot of digital techniques from watching Feng Zhu, Bobby Chu, those people online, just because digital was a medium that was sort of difficult for me to learn. And because it is a program, there's a lot of where's this button and how do I get this to do this, because there's certain ways of doing it because it's a program based thing. But as far as painting, like I mentioned before, I watched Bob Ross as a kid. I have seen a few other online YouTube videos, which is a great resource, by the way. But I can't honestly say that I had any big aha moments just watching somebody else paint via a tutorial or video or anything like that. Because when it comes to painting, a lot of it is just trial and error. The way that I paint is specific to me because it's just the way that I figured out how to paint. I think one thing that I have noticed is a lot of people kind of feel that there's some sort of golden bit of information hidden in tutorial books and all kinds of art books, that if you purchase every kind of art book on the market, you're magically going to learn how to draw. But the nitty-gritty of it is that no matter how many books you have, it's not going to help you if you don't actually sit down and do all of the exercises in those books. I do have a few anatomy books, which I absolutely love, and I have done studies out of them. So I've done studies from taxidermy, studied life drawing, but again, those are not necessarily techniques as it is just practice. And I don't paint in any sort of specific style. Nobody sat me down and said, this is exactly how you hold a paintbrush and this is exactly how you put the paint on the paper. I wasn't ever shown any of those things. It was just me figuring it out on my own for the most part. So I don't know if that's really the type of answer everybody would have been hoping for, but a lot of it just comes from experimenting and trying new things and, seeing what happens and being okay if you screw up and if a piece gets ruined. So what? If you learned a new technique from it, it's totally fine. It's part of learning. It's part of finding your style and your own techniques and your own way of creating artwork. Thanks so much for watching and listening. There is only one more video of this entire series, and I am really proud of how far I got through this, and I'm really happy that it's almost complete. It's something that I've been trying to finish up all December. The surgery made it a little bit difficult for the last couple of weeks, but the fact that I'm wrapping it up only about a week late, all things considered, is pretty good, and I am pretty happy with that. I do want to continue doing some sort of video every single week, whether that means doing more kind of question and answer topics like this, or if it means other type of videos. I'm not sure yet. I'll think about it. I may put out some polls on my Patreon page and see what folks want to see from me, and we'll see how it goes. I hope everyone else had a great start to the year so far, and I will see you in the next and last video of this series. Bye.